Good evening, everyone. I'm trying to get back into the swing of making more and more camera reviews for my YouTube channel. I can see that some of the camera reviews that I've been doing are quite popular, so I think I'm going to keep doing them just to help people out if they've found cameras at thrift shops, charity shops, addicts, maybe their parents or grandparents gifted a certain camera. So today I have a rather obscure Canon 35mm single lens reflex camera with detachable lenses. This is the Canon EOS 700, not to be confused with the 700D digital camera that is quite popular today. This is the EOS 700, which is a film camera which takes this type of film here. It was released sometime in 1990, sometime in the spring. Usually new cameras are released in the spring of every new year, so I believe it was March or April of 1990, and it is a rather obscure camera because it can do what not many other cameras can do, and I'm going to share with you what that perk or quirk is. This camera was marketed toward amateurs, just getting started in the hobby. It was also released with the power zoom lenses, the ones with the buttons on the side of the EF lenses that could automatically zoom the lens in and out instead of having to do it manually with your fingers like this. So to get started, well, how do you power this camera? There's a coin slot here that if you have strong nails, you can get to and remove the battery compartment. This camera takes a rather interesting battery, one that you cannot find much anymore, and it is a 2CR5. Any manufacturer will do, Energizer, Duracell, Panasonic, but I had to drive across town to get this battery. I had to buy one at my Best Buy, which was about 15-20 minutes away from my home. So it was a good drive, but you don't normally get many options when it's 8 o'clock at night. So I lucked out. There was 3 left, and I picked one up, and now I'm doing this review for all of you. So now, how do you power this camera? Well, there's a mode dial on the right side of the camera. You're left right now, but if you're looking at it like this, it would be the right side. There's also a flash function on the left side of the camera, which is pretty interesting because normally you'd get a flash off or on, and when you click the button to on, the flash should pop up. Well, not in this circumstance. I'll show you why that's pretty interesting in a little bit. But this is your mode dial, and you have the L, which is the standard L lock for the power on Canon cameras. Let me see if I can get another one for you. Yeah, this one's not quite the same. This is a Canon EOS 7. That is off. So some of the more amateur Canon cameras have this L for lock. So that's your lock. Then you have your self timer, and then you have your battery check. That means that the battery is working. This is the lock. This is P for program. DE stands for, I believe, depth of field preview, if I'm not mistaken. You have also landscape, portrait, the flower for macro, a martini for food or drink related photographs. You have, I believe that is, I'm not sure what that is. That's sports. That's sports with like a translucent type of lighting, tungsten lighting rather, where you're in a gym and it's dark, so it will compensate. This is your sun with the flash and delayed flash. And this is going to come in handy here because, well, you've noticed this kind of looks similar to what is on a Minolta battery compartment door. This, it's the same type of material. And you may wonder, well, does that do anything? Well, it does. If you just friction work it, like I'm doing right now, and remove the entire screw. Well, that's interesting. I can't do that with any other of the cameras that I own. You can literally flip the mode dial and turn it from a more automatic camera into a manual camera. Well, that's quite interesting, is it not? There are not many cameras that can do that in this day and age. Even back then, this was one of the most obscure perks to and then it will literally click in to place. And you want to make sure you have threaded the dial correctly. And once you have the manual shutter speed selections, the nub here, the screw nub, will stick out a little bit more. And I'm going to keep it in this orientation to go through the shutter speeds. Let's try it with the flash first. So this is lock, so I'm going to turn it to program right now, and I'm just going to, so you can see, hold on, let me do that again for you. See if the shutter, if you depress the shutter with the flash on automatic, the flash will pop up. And then, more interestingly than perhaps the mode dial flipping back and forth, the flash will automatically close once you're done taking the picture. So I think that's a really cool, and then of course you have the red pre-focus lamp. And I think that's a really cool feature. This is one of the coolest cameras that I've ever seen, and I am honored to own it. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and remove the lens by pressing in this button and turning counterclockwise, and then go through the shutter speeds. This is 1/2000th of a second. Oops, diddly, I did not turn the flash off. 1/1000th of a second. 1/500th. 1/250th. 1/125th. 1/60th. 1/30th. 1/15th. 1/8th. 1/4th. And then the bulb. As long as I have my finger on the shutter button, the shutter will remain open, the mirror will stay up until I release my finger from the shutter button. Now, that's a pretty interesting camera. I don't normally get a lot of things like this. To reattach the lens, you align the red dot with the screw in the center of the prism. So you do this, and then you attach counterclockwise. Pretty interesting. Sometimes you can get a eyepiece to go here, so that's missing, but that can be easily replaceable. If I open the back here, this is the film door where your film goes. This is an automatic winding and retracting film camera. So once you put the film in, you just put it into this orange receptacle, not into, but right at the line. And once you close the film door, it will auto load, take the first 3 exposures or what have you, and then it will start counting down your pictures. Now, that is pretty much it for this camera. The serial number on this one is 1574955. I have no idea what that means, but anybody in the comments, please let me know. And let me know if you have this camera. I have never, like I said before, I have never seen a camera like this or doing anything like what I just showed you with the flipping of the mode dial. I think that is really cool, and I would imagine that this is quite rare to see because not too many people would have known to do that unless you actually go onto Canon's legacy website, which features all of their prior camera models. And if somebody knew how to do that, I'm surprised that this is still on here because this is just a screw. And if that falls off, you're done. You'd have to go back to Canon and buy a new mode dial because if you lose it, you don't know what setting the camera's on. And it really works. It really changes the shutter speed and the aperture based off of the mode dial. So it will actually go to 2,000th of a second, 1,000th of a second. And then if you flip it back to, let's say, the macro mode, it will actually go macro for you and turn it into a program camera. So it's not actually, of course, the dial is printed on both sides. So they're different selections. The camera programs based off of what face is on the mode dial. So it's not going to, let's say for a second, let's say maybe the 1/2000th of a second is the same spot as the macro mode. Well, if you flip it around, you would say, oh, okay, so it's just going to do macro at 1/2000th of a second. No, it actually has a computer chip in there that tells the difference, which is really cool. So if you guys want more, I will gladly make more videos featuring more obscure different cameras. But like I said, I got this for on eBay for $15, $20. I'm going to look on eBay tonight and see what it's actually going for. But I really like this camera. It's a very interesting, quirky piece of photographic machinery. And I love it. I really like the interesting perk that you get with the flipping of the mode dial. So if you have any questions or concerns or comments or want to make corrections to anything I may have misspoken about, please put them down in the description and correct myself for everybody who wants assistance. Thank you very much. On to the next one.